everybody, I am Gradius, and this is another episode of Beacon 147. Joining me tonight, the mighty Thomas, aka Noble Apocalypse.
That's me. Hello, everybody.
Alright, there's a lot of stuff that we have to get to today. But I think the first thing was what? We had some thank yous to make,
some
right?
thank yous and some corrections. I'm going to start with Nonsense Poem from the Reddit community. He posted a link with some great information regarding topics and some common questions that people have. And he also requested some RSS feeds for subscribing to the show. I want to say done and done. We have not only kept our YouTube stream up in glorious 1080p, I also organized that to be a little bit better. It's a nice organized playlist with the shows starting from our introductory through show 2 and now show 3. But in addition to that, we have added an audio stream only, which is available for subscribing on iTunes or your podcast downloader of choice. You can search for us there. We'll also put some links in the description. And if you would like an SD video feed, we have that available as well for download through iTunes, and a 720p. But you're always going to get the 1080p full glorious content right here on YouTube. So
what's really cool is I didn't see us, at least, at first, hitting iTunes and stuff like that. But, looking at how many people have been doing some searches and stuff for Star Citizen and people who are interested in, this game in general, it's actually pretty popular on iTunes.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we're there.
Yeah. So, well, like I said, we'll have those links in the description on the YouTube feed. And I'll put those up on the feed. I don't know if they'll carry over well into iTunes, but I'll put those links up for you to subscribe, and subscribe to all of them, all three of them, and watch us on the YouTubes, if you will.
Yes, many thanks to Senor Nonsense Poem.
Indeed.
On the Reddits.
Yeah. Also, Blacksmith Wolf from the YouTube community and Arcanum Veritas from the RSI forums. They had a little bit of a...
I totally would have butchered that.
Well, I tried with my Latin. If that's wrong, Arcanum Veritas, I apologize. But he clarified our clarification of the clarification about lifetime insurance. And we mentioned this as a possibility, but I think we went a little off the bandwagon. But it only covers how your ship comes stock. So if you have a stock ship with your hull and various upgrades, you will only get, like if you were to go to the lot and buy a brand new ship, you're only going to get what would come with that ship if you ordered it new. And Hayes Ducid from the YouTube community also had a little bit of a correction on that. He said that Roberts has clarified that all insurance will have a basic delay attached to it, and each time you claim within a 3-month period, that delay will get longer. So pretty much what we thought they should do, they did do. So big props to
somebody out there might be listening.
Nah, I think it was done
before, or it's the other way around, obviously.
Perhaps it was clairvoyance. But big props to Nonsense Poem, Blacksmith Wolf, Arcanum Veritas, and Hayes de Cid. And I am reading Reddit and YouTube and the RSI forums. So if you want to do comments or, hey, you got this wrong, that's the best place to get in touch with me. You can also DM me on the RSI forums. And as always, thank you guys for listening. If you weren't listening, we wouldn't have corrections. So
yeah,
thank you very much.
I can't complain. That's good stuff. Because we want to make sure that everything that we're doing is accurate. And if we get something wrong, far be it from us to get upset. Thank you.
Yeah, indeed.
These types of things are what we're looking for.
Yeah, I kind of had a quick conversation through posts on Reddit with Nonsense Poem, and he was basically said, hey, we're relatively new to the community. We've only been following Star Citizen since about February, and there is just so much information out there. We're bound to make a few mistakes here and there. So I'm also going to put a link.
Yeah, one thing that I noticed, though, is getting into this thing, in February, with there already being just tons of stuff out there.
Oh, yeah.
Filtering through all that, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and the link that Nonsense Poem sent me is incredible. I mean, it has a nice table of contents and goes over pretty much all the basics and a lot of the advanced topics as well. And I'll make sure to put that in the show notes as well for you guys as well who are looking for some answers to some of those basic questions. I'll put that in there as well for you guys. So
Awesome.
thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate it. So feel free to continue to correct us or just say we're doing a good job.
Yeah, either one. So moving on, something that kind of we've been looking forward to for a little while. They've kind of showed us a sneak peek of their new website, the new Robert Space Industries website, and I gotta say, pretty big improvement.
Yeah, it is definitely high quality. It was mentioned a little bit in the recent compost and as well in the what is it, the Spaceman's, or what is it? Oh gosh, tip of my tongue.
Wingman's
Hangar. Golly, I'm sure I'll.
The Spaceman's residence.
Spaceman's place of where he parks his parking lot. The Spaceman's parking lot.
Ah, yes.
Yes. So yeah, it was mentioned there, and it was also on the recent compost. What are some of your initial thoughts about it? I mean, other than the beauty of it.
I loved the fact that when you pull up, they did it in the Wingman's hangar, right? One of the developers of the site was demoing some of the functionality of the site, and he pulled up the Aurora, okay, and it had all the stats on the right and a picture of the Aurora on the left, and he could take it and turn it and move it around, and there were little lines kind of going to the hard points on the ship where all the turrets and stuff would go, so you kind of knew where things were as you changed the view of the ship around. That was really slick. There's a lot of interactive things on the site. It's not like a big static page, where it's just a big static page with just a bunch of information on it. There's a lot of things that you can kind of get in there and play with, and that, and then just the design of the site, the colors, everything. I don't know, man. It's slick. I love it.
Yeah, it's definitely a big improvement of what they've got now. I mean, now it's pretty obvious that it's a WordPress type site, and I think that now that
lorem ipsum.
well, I think now that they've got some more money thanks to the pledges. They've been able to bring on some some good people to their web team, and man, it really is a vast improvement of what they've got. I'm curious to see how this website's going to look on mobile devices as well. I mean, I'm curious with some of the way that what they were the manipulating of the object in 3D with the Aurora. Is that going to be Unity engine? Is that going to be Flash? I'm just curious, how that's going to work on mobile devices, because I know me personally.
I almost want to test it.
Yeah, because me personally, I don't spend too much time in front of my desktop except when we're doing these type of things or gaming. Most of my information gathering is done mobile. So I'm hoping that I'm sure that they will, but I'm hoping that they keep mobile responsive design in mind on the new website, because if the website looks this good on a desktop, I hope it looks this good on a mobile device as well.
Definitely. Yeah, I don't know. It looks really
slick as all hell.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess next in the news, Star Citizen cards.
Yeah, it looks like the Star Citizen cards are starting to ship.
Yeah,
the plastic,
they're showing up places.
Yeah, the plastic ones are shipping right now. So the metal ones, I think, are going to be shipping very soon if they haven't already started to ship. They're coming from China, so we got the first reports of people getting them in China. And just recently, I think the past day or two, and we're recording this late Friday, early Saturday, people are starting to get them in the U.S., and we've seen a lot of them on the Reddit community. They look slick. Now,
yeah, they do. Some of those pictures on Reddit I was looking at earlier, man, you know what? I know it's too late. I should have done it. I didn't get one.
Oh.
I'm regretting the hell out of it.
Yeah, see, I had the Rear Admiral package, but I went ahead and upgraded to the metallic card. And I'm almost wishing I didn't, because these plastic cards look incredible. And I'm waiting. I'm very curious to see what these metal cards are going to look like in hand. Hopefully it'll blow me away. But those plastic, or the plastic ones, we're seeing a lot of the scout cards and bounty hunter cards.
Yeah, I mean, if they're half as good as the plastic ones,
Yeah. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to get mine in the mail. And as soon as I get that, I'll make sure the next episode we have, I hold it up to the cam so everyone can get it, take a look at it.
So I can be jealous.
So you can be super jelly, as all the cool kids are saying now.
That's right. Yep, should have done it.
Kind of moving forward a little bit into the latest post. The Comlink had some information about some art and background information. I can't speak English anymore. Of the
English.
the Armitage, and do you want to talk a little bit about that, Gradius?
Yeah, so basically, they've released some actually pretty high res screenshots or concept art, I should say, of the colony on Orion 3, also known as Armitage. And so basically, Armitage was the site furthest away from, the human colonies of Earth, and unfortunately became one of the first targets for the Van Jewels. And basically, it's if you look at some of the concept art, it looks like it's a beautiful place. I mean, we'll show the screenshots here on the video, but it is just wrecked by war, and I could just see that colony. I don't know, just kind of getting into like the RP-ish kind of side, right? That colony, being the first to get hit by some unknown species, right? It's like, what do we do? And just we get hit, right? And you look at the city, all the buildings are just trashed and destroyed, and I don't know. But some of these screenshots that they've released have shown, just how far, I guess, we went, and how quickly that we could build colonies on other planets, and colonies that look like metropolis type cities, skyscrapers, that sort of thing. And I don't know, it just looks really great. These screenshots are actually pretty impressive.
Right, I'm looking at the particular image I'm looking at is kind of a view from probably back a little bit of the street, and you get a view of a couple buildings to the left. You've got the Lost Horizon and the bay and something, I think maybe Gordon's, and it really gives you a sense of the detail and the scope. I mean, you have what obviously at once was a monument and a testament to human exploration and expansion, and now it's kind of fallen into a state of disrepair as a result of the war or the conflict there, and it's kind of got this post-apocalyptic feel to it, which in and of itself is beautiful. I mean, just the level of detail that they've put into it. It reminds me a lot of St. Louis from Defiance on the television show. It's kind of got that same, you can tell that there was something great once there, and
but it's kind of hodgepodge, repaired, half repaired, kind of stuff.
Yeah, with the feeling of destruction in the background, and with the Vandal menace or threat being somewhat less than what it used to be. Obviously, there still seems to be human colonists, from these screenshots and from some of the lore, still running around. And you mentioned RP. I'm wondering if this is going to be an interesting place for maybe some of the outlaws or pirates to kind of congregate.
Ooh, good call.
So and with it being far away, it kind of puts it on that outer rim of of the enforcement of the law, if you will. So
right, yeah.
I'm definitely thinking that this might be a place that you might want to keep your sidearm close and your ship heavily protected.
Definitely. I'm looking at this, and when I look, I mean, I think you're right. I mean, this kind of tells me that, of course, this is speculation at this point. Speculation / on the wish list, I guess. Right. I look at a place like this, and I think you're right. I think maybe this is going to be one of those places, with it being so far out, that this might be one of those border colonies that separate, UEE controlled space as opposed to just complete lawless type of stuff. This is going to be the place where all the space cowboys hang out.
Right.
All the pirates and all the bounty hunters and that sort of thing, like almost a haven maybe
potentially
for the less than lawful people.
Yeah, it's one of the things that a lot of the focus, or at least that we've talked about, has been kind of the PvP side of things, but kind of thinking about it from an RP point of view. I mean, I'm looking at the Lost Horizon sketches, and you've got this bar set up, and it looks like a maybe a stage off to the right in one of these screenshots. Maybe you could have some I don't know, less than fully clad people dancing, and hushed conversations, and the bowels of these facilities. And I just I can only imagine how much fun this is going to be if the RP community gets a hold of it. And
Yeah, and I look at, back when I was playing like Wing Commander Privateer, when you land on a planet, there's some cut scenes and stuff where your ship flies down and lands, and when you're there, you get this screen where you see your ship, and they've got like a hallway over here and a hallway over there, and you click to move to those different areas of the map. I can kind of see. I mean, if they stick with that format, it's kind of dated, but it's still relevant for the Wing Commander-ish type of game. I mean, if they kind of stick with that format, I can kind of see a place like the Lost Horizon being one of those places where you go in there, and if you want to get a mission from like I don't know, some pirate guy or a bounty hunter type of thing, maybe this could be a mission hub too for that type of activity.
Right. I'm also taking a look at the bay sketches now, and it's very much got the feel of a junkyard scrapping type place. Getting any bits and pieces of a ship that they can and stripping it down, and maybe doing some modifications to it. It's been mentioned, the idea and concept of stealing a ship, and the consequences of having a stolen ship is that you're obviously in a stolen ship and you're a target to law enforcement and potentially other players. And they did say that you could essentially rebrand the ship and bring it into your own ownership through various means. I'm wondering if the Bay might be one of these places that you would go, since it is in the outer fringes, to do that.
Yeah.
And in that sketch 1, off to the right there's something that looks almost Android-ish. I don't know if that's just
maybe he's the serial number changing bot.
So I don't know. Just even, I mean, and I know that these are concept sketches. This isn't necessarily representative of the final product, and I'm kind of
no, but we can hope.
Yeah, we definitely can hope. I mean, just the level of detail that's in it. I mean, scrolling down, even to screenshot to 2 and 3, you see engine blocks and engines hanging from chains and piles of wire. It's just a really unique thing, and to see this fully rendered in the CryEngine is, I just can't imagine how cool this is going to be. I mean,
yeah.
I'm definitely going to have to go with an entourage of people to protect me, but
you have to have your trusty Wookiee Chewbacca next to you while you're having the Millennium Falcon fixed, right?
Right. Just unbelievable. I mean, we've seen this in a lot of their concept art. I mean, the Terra concept art, all of this is just. I want these concept arts to be as closely representative of the final product as possible, because all this is doing is whetting my thirst and making me want it even more.
Yeah, and just kind of reading more into it, I don't know. If you look at the concept art page, you can see where they kind of describe some of the places, and they do mention that the Lost Horizon will offer a bar/local meeting place and a criminal info agent. So maybe like we were saying, this is probably going to be, again, that border of good and evil type of place where there's going to be bounty hunters and all that stuff everywhere. So I don't know. I think we're pretty spot on. I think we're spot on with our analysis of this place, and one can only hope that there are several of these more earthy or seedy. I don't know the right term, but you know what I mean, like more neutral, good and evil type of places intermingling in the game. I think these areas will be interesting, to say the least, to fly into.
Yeah, and talking about the Bay, and I'm thinking that droid may be Jingo, which is mentioned here, and that's JING0, and an old beaten up assist droid who still wanders the ruins and helps pilots as if the place wasn't a bombed out hellhole. I mean, you read descriptions like that, and it's just, it's got that feeling to it. Just in that description, you're already seeing that rich tapestry being woven of details and lore and the environment. I absolutely, whoever is writing the copy for this is genius, because just in that simple two sentences or sentence of text there, we already have this want and desire to know more about what's going on here, and it's really good stuff.
Yep, definitely. So, looking at some of these screenshots, the fact, if you go to the page, you can actually click on them and get a high res copy of them. But I think they've also released a fan site kit now. I think this is a very recent thing, and you can download a fan site kit that's got all of the logos for Squadron 42, Star Citizen logo. They've got some really high res screenshots, and I want to say, I'll have to confirm, but I want to say some of these Armitage screenshots are actually in the fan site kit. At least some of them look really familiar. Maybe it's just the same color palette and I'm getting confused, but there are some really cool concept art pics inside this fan site kit too.
Yeah, I mean there is that image of Moscow, which we saw several weeks ago, and Moscow being that hub there. I'm sure we'll see a lot of in game, and I believe Tyrol is what it's called. I could be pronouncing that wrong, but I mean that fan site kit has great things in there. They recently released Jump Point #1, which is the subscriber only newsletter, and even those Jump Points, those little subscriber only magazines, incredible information there. It's very well produced, very well put together, and is worth taking a read. I mean, even if you're not going to be building a fan site or building logos for your guild, squadron, fleet, whatever you want to call it, there's definitely some great information in there to take a look at.
Yeah, I was actually looking into that, the magazine article that they released inside of the fan site kit. I have to be honest, right now I don't have a monthly subscription thing going on. I have backed the game, but looking at the level of detail that those articles or those newsletters go into, I think that's going to change. I think I'm gonna go ahead and bite the bullet and do a monthly sub on this thing, because I'm interested in that kind of stuff. The level of detail and some of the story and the background they go into on some of the ships and things like that, and how things are designed and all that. It's talk about information overload. Yeah,
but it's the kind of information you can really geek out on.
Oh yeah.
In some of the later ones, I mean, the first episode is indicative of, or the first issue is indicative of what I've received in the 3 more that have come out since, and I might be missing one if there's a 5th out. My apologies. I've been, like I said, catching up on everything. This is what you see. I mean, it's systems, it's ships, it's developer insight and background. A lot of the conversations that they have about why things are designed the way they're designed. Chris Roberts, felt like, this ship, is carrying cargo. Where is the cargo going to go? Aesthetically, how is the ship going to compensate for the fact
you can't really have a really small, sleek ship that's got a huge cargo bay,
exactly.
Right?
And to me, it's that attention to detail that's really kind of separates this game from most. I mean, a lot of us who have played MMOs or shooters in the past have always just have had that magic bag, that we pull out 7 weapons from, and we store all of our mounts, and it's just this magic bag. And it's nice to see for someone like me who is a fan of highbrow science fiction and appreciates physics in game and those type of things. It's nice to see that the developers are having those conversations, that it's not just, okay, well, this looks cool, so let's put it in. It's, this looks cool, let's put it in, but let's find a way to make it work.
Speaking of highbrow science fiction, well, I don't know if it's highbrow or not, but I did start reading the first Wing Commander novel, Wing Commander Freedom Flight. I've just started it.
Put it out on Kindle, Amazon. Put it out on Kindle.
Yeah. Well, yeah. This is a paperback copy, I started.
What is a paperback? Explain that.
Paperback? Oh, it's what they had before Kindles.
Before
it's what they have at libraries.
What are libraries?
Oh, okay. You don't know what a library is. It's the place,
is that like the internet?
It is like the internet, actually. It's like the internet, only
printed out
30 years ago.
It's like the internet printed.
Yeah,
Okay.
internet on paper. That's what a library is.
Got it.
But anyway, I picked up the book, and just it's nostalgia, right? I'm going through, and it's got all the same characters like Hunter and some really maniac and some of the familiar call signs and stuff. And so far, I love it. It's good, and it's just getting me that much more excited for Star Citizen and Squadron 42. I'm in the zone. I'm just focused 100% on this whole thing, and I don't know. I can't contain myself.
Yeah.
Well, I think I think that's kind of wrapping up this podcast. Now that we're back, we plan on getting these things out more frequently, and as new information is released, again, our goal to get it to you. And we will make sure to listen to our feedback as well in case we make mistakes. It is 100% our goal to make sure that we are accurate.
Absolutely.
And but yeah, man, that's all. I think that's all we've got for tonight.
Yep. I just want to reiterate the fact that we post this on YouTube, Reddit, and on the RSI forums, and that's not shameless self-promotion. That actually is your place to give us comments and corrections and suggestions for future shows. If there are questions you want us to research and answer for you because you're far too lazy to do it yourself, we will also pick some of the best ones and see if we can get those answers for you. And if we don't know the answers, we'll go to our favorite support agent.
Oh yes, the famous, the now internet famous, amazing customer support representative, Brittany Godfrey.
Yes,
she's now internet famous. If you don't know who this amazing lady is, go and watch the latest episode of Wingman's Hangar.
Yeah,
and,
I forgot my.
You will be amazed.
I forgot my password to Try On Worlds. I wonder if she can fix that for me.
Oh, you know what? I bet you if you called her, she might help you out.
All right, guys. Well, that's all.
All right.
That's all for me.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. Thanks for watching, and leave all your comments and stuff down there wherever it is, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
See you guys.